We've got to go all the way back to 2014, when me and Tom were in a band called Noah and the Whale. And in 2014, Noah and the Whale were on a hiatus. And so we were all off kind of doing our own creative endeavors. So I was actually making an album of medieval English folk music. I was heavily inspired by the Sting album that he'd done, Songs from the Labyrinth. You know, I'd always been intrigued by the idea of singing, English folk, in Old English. And, no one else had done that really. So I was doing all these original folk songs with lutes, all this kind of thing. I received a lot of pushback from the industry. They were saying, no, you can't put out a folk album, full of lutes and stuff. Even though Sting had done it, he's allowed to do it, but apparently I wasn't.
I was going through quite a strange time in my life and in my career. I took myself away to the Quantocks to do a pottery course. I hadn't been into pottery at all, and I can't say I've thrown a pot since, but on coming back from that course, Fred told me that he'd made a whole medieval album.
Hey, nonny, 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 no.
And I mean, it really was the pits. It was awful.
So I ended up shelving the album, and I basically kept the material and re-recorded all those songs with a few slight tweaks in the style of middle-of-the-road 80s rock. That was the album I ended up releasing instead. We called it Serious Poke. That song, the Hey Nonny Nonny song, was more of a kind of, it was going to be a B-side really. It was going to be a bonus track. But, Tom was absolutely blown away by the whole thing.
There was one particular song that, it had a catchy-ish melody. Perhaps it could be worked into something. I think off the top of my head, I just blurted out, well, maybe there's a Christmas song in this. I instantly regretted that decision because Fred took that idea up with aplomb. And the next thing I knew is we were in the studio and I suddenly realised I'd bitten off a lot more than I could probably chew. All is still in the candlelight. He knows the pews are packed tonight.
It was good. It's pretty good.
Yeah?
I'm just wondering if you can do it more Christmassy.
Yes, I can. One station did play the song. It's actually Dermot O'Leary on Radio 2. He played the song. He actually called up my mum for an interview because I wasn't available. And of course, I think there was one write-up in The Sun.
We've actually, just got something to show you.
Oh, right, yeah. This was from The Sun. I mean, it made hot tracks at least, that's something. Tom Hoden and Fred Abbott of Noah and the Whale serve up a nice bit of folksy festive cheer. Unfortunately, Abbott sounds similar to Pierce Brosnan in Mamma Mia.
What sometimes works for me is to have some inspiration up on the screen here. There.
Yep.
That's it. We decided, well, we might as well release this. We like this. But what are we going to call ourselves? And then we just looked through the lyrics, and there it was right there in the chorus, the Heathen and The Holy. We thought, that's perfect, Tom's, the Holy, and I think that leaves me as, I'm the Heathen. I've always been into sort of pagan rituals and that kind of thing for a long time. And during the first COVID lockdown, I actually qualified as a practicing witch. So I think, it was a natural fit, really.
The tears and smiles of his parents show their pride.
That was it. That was the one. Yeah, that was the one.
I felt that one.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Well, here we are back in Walcott Square.
It is surreal to be back, Fred. Not gonna lie. I was trying to work out how many years ago it was I lived here. Maybe.
Well, it must be 10 years, because it's 10 years since we did the first Heathen and The Holy song.
Yeah.
It looks a lot smarter now,
It looks a lot better. It's a great house. Very happy memories. Of course, the best thing about that house.
It was the close proximity to the ship.
Yeah.
I was living in Kennington, just down the road as well at the time.
Yeah.
So we had, 3 members of Noah and the Whale very close by, and it became our sort of local pub.
Our spiritual
We were in there
home.
pretty much every night in the pub quiz.
And of course, took a prominent role in our video for Hey Merry Christmas.
Well, they very nicely.
Well, yes, the famous video. From what I recall, it all started like, most great ideas that humans have. It all started with an overexcited chat in the pub with our friend, Detective Inspector Dan Montenarini.
But people had very different backgrounds back then, Like even our director for the video.
What, Detective Inspector Dan Montenarini?
Well, as we've now discovered, yeah, he's a full DI, isn't he?
I don't know, he's made some fantastic videos for us, Detective Dan.
Yeah.
He's found his real calling now.
Yeah.
First shot we did was the shot in the church at the opening of the video, with the boys singing and Tom in the pulpit. They managed to get the church in Beaconsfield for free or something. We went down there. It turns out the church was absolutely massive. We only had about 5 or 6 people. What are we going to do? You know, we need some bodies in the church. So somebody came up with the idea of, we Googled the nearest retirement home, the nearest old people's home. I think it was called Berry Lodge, and we phoned them up. If we come and pick you up, are there any people that want to come and, you know, sit in the church, you know, and hear some music? Picked up a couple of carloads of, you know, older people and drove them round to the church. And they actually, if you watch the video, some of them perform magnificently, you know, in that section. Well, that's exactly where we used to play, right there.
It is, yeah. Wild.
Oh, the stage is gone.
Oh, you're right.
Where those lights are, this used to be a raised stage.
What's happened there?
And so if you watch the video for Hey Merry Christmas, we're playing on a stage right there.
That's correct. It looks like new ownership.
It looks pretty dead in there. It's not like the old days.
There's a house ahead with an open door.
Well, there's been a lot of speculation over the years about the figure in the wide-brimmed hat and the red scarf, because we never actually saw him on set. And I know there's been a lot of speculation online about it being Eric Cantona, which it may well have been. I have no reason to believe it wasn't.
I'm pretty sure it's one of Fred's mates from his witchy coven that he joined.
Well, I know a lot of people say that, you know, we discovered Phoebe Dynevor, gave her first break. Now she's this big star in Bridgerton. You know, I think before she was in our video, she was a nobody. No one had ever heard of Phoebe Dynevor. Now, you know, she's a major Hollywood star. She's a household name. You know, that's unarguable. So, you know, is that a coincidence? Personally, I don't believe in them. I can't recall when we decided we wanted to do the whole thing again, but certainly when, you know, next Christmas came around, we met up again, and this time we were taking it a lot more seriously.
It was a great way to meet up with Fred in a work capacity, so we didn't have to meet socially. I guess a tradition was born in a way.
And then since then, it's really kind of stuck as a Christmas tradition. Every year, me and Tom get together and we get out the port and the ginger wine and the mince pies, and we write a song, and we always have a lot of laughs, and there's many tears of joy shed on the day, and we always come out of it with another, you know, great Christmas song. And we tried to stay current as well with, you know, with the lyrics. A lot of stuff has happened in the last 10 years, from 2014 to now. We've had Brexit, we've had Trump, we've had COVID, we've had the passing of Terry Wogan. Cheers. And we tried to incorporate all those things, you know, into our Christmas songs.
It's Christmas, yeah, it's Christmas. Remember how it feels.
It's amazing that we've been doing this for 10 years. We joked, you know, many years ago that, you know, wouldn't it be great to do these songs for 10 years and then we can put them all out on a record, and now it's happened.
I guess over all the years we've done it, seeing that childlike wonder in Fred's eyes, it stirred something in me, I think. And perhaps I'm reappraising Christmas every time it comes around.
The Heathen and The Holy is a special bond and exists in a special place in our hearts that is just for Christmas. If we started trying to do, you know, Easter egg songs, you know, or the Halloween song, it just wouldn't feel authentic and right.
Now as midnight mass draws to a close,
The Heathen and The Holy is Christmas only, and forever will stay that way.
let the tears and smiles of his parents show their pride.
I'd say to our fans, congratulations on getting this far and sticking with us through these years. And finally, of course, wish you a very Merry Christmas.
The joy and the laughter have begun.
Yeah, what I want to say to our fans, both of them, is we'll see you at our gig in December, and, you know, God willing, we'll see you next Christmas.
The Christmas time that you know so well.
I fucked it. Oh well, that's enough. We've got more than enough there. More than enough, B-roll.
Oh,
I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Velvet.
Velvet. That's it. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.